INFJs and INFPs have some common themes that often arise when they get to know each other. As an intuitive feeling type, you seek deep, meaningful connection in your relationships. You want to truly understand what drives the people you care about and help them to be their best selves. You are drawn to people who seem to be sensitive, thoughtful, and idealistic, and prefer relationships that help you to grow and develop. When relating to your counterpart, bear in mind that as an intuitive feeling type, they will tend to be highly idealistic about their relationships. They want authentic connections that reflect their true values, and they want to see who you really are as a person. Intuitive feelers want to go deep, and revealing yourself to them is a worthwhile endeavor. Once they feel they know you, they'll be a tireless cheerleader for your dreams and ambitions. This relationship has great potential for a close and caring connection. You're likely to find many commonalities in how you think about things and approach your life. You both have a compassionate and idealistic nature, and even if you disagree on some things, you'll likely feel that when it comes to the important stuff, you're on the same page. You share a dedication to your ideals and a commitment to helping others. Although you may follow different paths, fundamentally, your goals are the same: to make the world a better place. This shared ethic gives you the opportunity for a deep and lasting bond. Conflict is unlikely between the two of you, because you are both inclined to imagine yourselves in the other person's shoes. When difficulties come up, you'll tend to approach them with compassion and empathy. You can often see another point of view, even if you don't agree with it, and you'll tend to try to accept your differences and get back to a harmonious equilibrium. Although there are some common problems that can arise in INFJ-INFP relationships, it's important to remember that there's no such thing as a perfectly compatible pair in personality typing. Whether you get along with someone has more to do with your own self-knowledge and your sensitivity to your friends' needs and preferences, not some magic formula. Communication can be a challenge between any two people, and communication between INFJ and INFP personality types is not the exception. By being aware of the issues that often arise when INFJs and INFPs communicate, you can learn how to reach an understanding more quickly. You and your counterpart share an abstract style of communication. Your conversations will tend to focus on your impressions, ideas, opinions, and theories. You may find yourselves discussing philosophy, the arts, the latest advances in science, or your ideas about how to make the world a better place. You are likely to find one another interesting and stimulating to talk to. Neither of you is terribly interesting in recounting events in tedious detail or sharing dry facts without any context, and since both of you probably have the experience of getting stuck in such mundane exchanges with other people, talking to one another should be a refreshing break. Although you share a similar general style of communicating, there is still potential for misunderstandings between the two of you. When working on projects together, you may find that you tend to discuss the overall goals, but neglect to hammer out the details. You are both inclined to talk more about the general idea, and less about the facts and practicalities. When working together to create a plan, make sure you attend to any details that need to be decided, and don't just assume you're on the same page. Still waters run deep is an apt motto for both of you, and as a result, striking up a conversation may initially be a challenge. But if you can get through the awkward get-to-know-you phase, you'll find rich and wonderful opportunities to share thoughts and ideas with each other. You are both deep, intuitive, and reflective thinkers. You tend to be fascinated with complex ideas and enjoy exploring the meaning of things. Your specific interests may not be the same, but you share a way of thinking about things that is highly complementary. Although it may take you a while to get started, once you're absorbed in conversation with one another, you'll likely both find it fascinating. Values are intensely personal, and while an INFJ and an INFP can find common ground, there will always be some differences in what you hold dear. However, understand how your INFJ approach to values compares with your INFP counterparts will help you to appreciate and overcome your differences. You are likely to feel a strong connection with this person based on your fundamental similarities in values. You are both idealistic, humanistic people with a deep concern for other people. Neither of you is content to simply accept the injustices and cruelties of the world around you. You feel things deeply, and want to make the world a better, gentler place. You are both highly empathetic and probably make plenty time in your lives to help others. You may have jobs that allow you to be of service, in education, health care, social services, or the like. Or, you may spend time volunteering for causes that are important to you. However you manifest it, it's clear from your lives that your ideals are important, and you'll tend to have an easy understanding of this priority for one another. Your idealism is a wonderful commonality, but it's also a potential fracture point. If you agree on the details of right and wrong, you may almost appear to be thinking with one mind. If you don't, you may find it difficult to agree to disagree, as you are both so passionate about what you believe. Although you're very similar people, your relationship can actually be quite explosive if you come across an area in which you disagree about what is right. You both hold your values very dear, and you want the people close to you to understand where you are coming from. If the two of you can't agree on an idea that's close to your heart, you'll both find that extremely upsetting. Conflict between the two of you is doubly difficult. Both of you prize harmony in your relationships, and so any disagreement is going to be torture for the both of you. Luckily, you have powers of empathy that many people can only dream of, and you both tend to be creative in coming up with solutions to personal problems. Deep down, you both want closeness and connection, and because you have so much in common, your relationship is likely extremely important to both of you. Let your desire to connect be your guide, and use your empathy superpowers, and you'll find your way back from any issues that may arise. You tend to prize hard work and achievement, in contrast with your counterpart, who puts a higher priority on just enjoying life. While you tend to be serious and goal-oriented, they are more relaxed and content to go with the flow. To you, they may appear unmotivated, flaky, or even lazy. But in truth, they just value freedom and flexibility more than you do, and they're willing to give up a few gold stars in favor of a more laid-back lifestyle. To them, your life may seem overly structured, routine, and just plain dull. You'll probably experience some conflict over your different approaches to life. You'll want your counterpart to get serious, make plans, and stick with something for once. On the other hand, they'll bug you to loosen up, relax, and enjoy life. Although this has the potential to be aggravating for both of you, it's also an opportunity for each of you to discover a new style of living. Your partner can help you to become more spontaneous and ensure you are enjoying all that life has to offer. In turn, you can help them improve their ability to be organized, persistent, and responsible when it matters most. Lifestyle is an underappreciated, but extremely important, element of compatibility. Your values and ideals may coincide perfectly, but if you can't agree on how to conduct day-to-day matters, your relationship will always have friction. As an INFJ in a relationship with an INFP, you can expect certain issues to arise in your daily life. Discussing these in advance, and figuring out how to deal with them, will make things go much more smoothly as you develop your relationship. The two of you are likely to share a general intellectual curiosity and interest in learning new things. Both of you tend to appreciate the value of culture, the sciences, and the arts, and while you may not share specific hobbies, you'll probably have interests that you can at least mutually appreciate. For both of you, discovering new ideas is a lifelong pursuit. You'll probably share a mutual interest in reading, going to museums and cultural events, taking classes for fun, and other activities that allow you to learn and improve your minds. In fact, you may find that learning new things together is a great way to bring you closer. You also share a low tolerance for the mundane. You both find day-to-day routine somewhat toxic, and you may find that your lives together involve frequent attempts to shake things up. You may dream of traveling around the world together or quitting your jobs to start a new business. This mutual taste for adventure is stimulating for both of you, and helps keep things exciting between you. However, during the inevitable dull periods of your life together, it's likely that you'll both be a bit cranky. Bear in mind that keeping things novel and fresh is key to both of your happiness. Organization may be a sticking point between the two of you. While you like to establish structure in schedules, plans, and systems, your counterpart takes a more relaxed approach. You may find that disagreements arise over these fundamental differences. If you share a physical space, you may disagree over how clean, tidy, and organized it needs to be. You will tend to feel more motivated to keep things in order, while your counterpart will have less of an innate need for organization. Often, the more organized person in a relationship like yours ends up taking on more responsibilities, simply because they're paying more attention to what needs to be done. This can lead to resentment and imbalance in the relationship. You may feel as if you are the adult in the relationship, while your counterpart may feel nagged and harassed. The best way to approach conflicts in this area is to frame your own desire for organization as just that, something you desire. It is generally unproductive to try to convince your partner that your structured, orderly way of doing things is the correct way, but if you approach it as simply stating your own preference, they may be more open to trying to accommodate you. Scheduling can also be an area of conflict for the two of you, as they like to leave things open-ended, while you prefer things planned and settled. Again, compromise is the key. The first step is to acknowledge that you have different approaches, and that each style has its benefits. Then, try to make sure your time together includes both scheduled events and free time for spontaneity, so you each get a chance to be at your best. You both get overstimulated by too much activity and both enjoy spending quiet time alone. You and your partner might often find yourself at home with takeout and Netflix, or even in the same room without actually talking to each other, and you're both okay with that. You likely both have small but intimate circles of friends, and there may be no great urgency to work your way into each other's friendship circles as a way of deepening your own bond. Personal boundaries are important to you, and you respect each other's personal space by default. You likely share a slower pace of life and appreciate the need for downtime to balance out the busyness. Neither of you feels a burning desire to attend party after relentless party, and it's likely that you're on the same page regarding the booking of your social calendar. The problem is that when you do make plans, it can be dangerously easy for you to talk each other out of them. Hiding away is not healthy or practical. If your relationship is a priority, one of you must bite the bullet and motivate the other to follow through. Despite both being introverts, one partner may need more downtime than the other, or you may have different social needs. It's a balancing act to sync your calendars and maintain a balance between your respective needs. Communication is key, although that too can be challenging as you both tend to shy away from confrontation because it's overstimulating. Acknowledge when you're bottling up feelings. Making a conscious effort to focus on conversations that take you both out of your comfort zones is the key to discovering new aspects of your relationship.